This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Lucy Burgoyne. Bohemian, San Francisco. Its restaurants and their most famous recipes. The Elegant Art of Dining by Clarence Edwards. Section 14. Some food variants and about dining. Some food variants. Variants of food preparation sometimes typify nationalities better even than variants of language or clothing. Take the lowly cornmeal, for instance. We find that Italian polenti, Spanish tamale, Philadelphia scrapple, and southern darky crackling cornbread are but variants of the preparation of cornmeal in delectable foods. It is a long step from plain cornmeal mush to scrapple, which we consider the highest and best form of preparing this sort of dish. But all the intermediate steps come from a desire to please the taste with a change from simple cornmeal. Crackling cornbread is the first step, and here we find that the darkies of the South found good use for the remnants of the pork after lard was tried out at hog-killing time. By mixing the cracklings with their cornmeal and making a pone, which they cooked before an open fire on a hoe blade, the first of this being called cracklin' hoe cake. Good scrapple is one of the finest breakfast dishes that we know during the winter, and when prepared after the recipe given here, it precedes all other forms of serving cornmeal. To mix it properly, one must know the proper values of herbs and condiments, and this recipe is the result of much discriminating study. Modesty prevents us giving it more than the name of scrapple. It is prepared in the following manner, differing from that made in Philadelphia. Scrapple. Take a young pig's head and boil it until the flesh drops from the bones. In water to which has been added 2 good-sized onions, quartered, 5 bruised cloves of garlic, 1 bay leaf, sweet marjoram, thyme, rosemary, a little sage, salt and pepper. Separate the meat from the bones and chop fine. Strain off the liquor and boil with cornmeal, adding the chopped meat. Put in the cornmeal gradually until it makes a stiff mush. Then cook for half an hour with the meat. Put in shallow pans and let cool. To serve, slice about ½ inch thick and fry in olive oil or butter to a light brown. As originally prepared, the tamale was made for conveyance, hence the wrappings of corn husk. This is a Spanish dish, having been brought to this country by the early Spanish explorers, and adopted by the Indian tribes with whom they came in contact. In the genuine tamale, the interior is the sauce and meat that goes with the cornmeal, which is alternately laid with the husks, and when made the ends are tied with fine husk. For meat, chicken, pork, and veal are considered the best. There is also a sweet tamale, made with raisins or preserves. The following recipe for tamales was given us by Luna. Tamales. Boil 1 chicken until the meat comes from the bones. Chop the meat fine and moisten it with the liquor in which it was boiled. Boil 6 large chili peppers in a little water until cooked so they can be strained through a fine strainer, and add to this the chopped chicken, with salt to taste and a little chopped parsley. Take cornmeal and work into it a lump of butter the size of an egg, adding boiling water and working constantly until it makes a paste the consistency of biscuit dough. Have ready a pile of the soft inner husks of green corn, and on each husk spread a lump of dough the size of a walnut. Into a flat cake covering the husk. In the centre of the dough put a teaspoonful of the chopped meat with minced olive. On a large husk put several tablespoonfuls of chopped meat with olives. Roll this together and lay on them other husks until the tamale is of the size desired. Tie the ends together with strips of fine husk and put in boiling water for 20 minutes. Either veal or pork may be used instead of chicken. Polenti, properly prepared, is a dish that requires much labour and scarcely repays for the time and exertion spent in its making. It differs from scrapple in that the ingredients are mixed in a sauce and poured over the mush, instead of being mixed in the meal. In the new Buon Gusto restaurant in Broadway, they cook polenti to perfection, and when it is served with cioppino, it leaves nothing to be desired. This is the recipe. Polenti. For the gravy, make a little broth with veal bone, a small piece of beef, a pig's foot, neck, feet and gizzard of chicken. In a separate kettle cook in hot oil 1 sliced onion, 1 clove of garlic, a little parsley, 1 bell pepper, 1 tomato, a small piece of celery, and a carrot. Cook until soft and then add this to the broth with a few dried mushrooms. Cook slowly for 30 minutes and then strain. For the mush, boil cornmeal until it is thoroughly done and then cool it until it can be cut in slices for frying. Mix butter and olive oil and heat in a frying pan, and into this put the slices of cornmeal, frying to a light brown. Place the fried cornmeal in a platter in layers, sprinkling each with grated Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper. Take parsley and 1 clove of garlic chopped fine, and a can of French mushrooms cut in quarters, and fry in butter. Then add enough gravy to pour over the fried cornmeal. Place this in an oven for a few minutes, then serve. About dining. Table d'hote is the feature of San Francisco's restaurant life. It is the ideal method for those who wish a good dinner and who have not the inclination or the knowledge to order a special dinner. It is also the least expensive way of getting a good dinner. It also saves an exhibition of ignorance regarding the dishes, for if you are in doubt, all you have to do is to leave it to the waiter, and he will bring the best there is on the day's menu, and will serve it properly. It is really something to elicit wonder when one considers the possibilities of a table d'hote dinner in some of the less expensive restaurants. Take, for instance, the Buon Gusto.